Hey guys, welcome to Powerline. I'm your host Skynet, and today I have um, I've got a deck build for you. It is the deck I took for the Buddyfight regionals, which is my Dual Seeger Centurion. He's the best. Um, I actually was gonna take Raging Spirits until I saw Centurion, and then as I started playing around with the deck in my head, I came up with a super awesome build for it, and gosh darn it, it just worked. And I actually won a good chunk of my matches. There's actually one match where I actually just drew insanely horrible. And when I talk about insanely horrible, like it just I couldn't even cast a creature. That's how bad it was. So let me show you. Um, Let me show you this deck, and I'm actually super proud of it, because it works about 80 to 90% of the time, and even if I don't have all the correct pieces, it still manages to work, and I'm still finding out new ways how to play it. So this Dual Seeker Centurion. You're gonna notice that they have the super awesome custom flag that I commented on a couple times. So let's start with the bread and butter of the deck, which are the creatures. So I run, no surprise, 4 copies of Dual Seeker Centurion. Um, this is the card that you want to write on all the time, because it nets you a card. Also, when it goes into the soul of a creature, it technically leaves the battlefield, which means you lose the 3 life from the lifelink 3. That is super key and important. I was discussing this with another Seeker player who I was sat next to round 1, and we were just trading thoughts. So yeah. And the next creature that I also have at max is Dual Seeger SD. So I have Dual Seeger SD at 4. This little dude is helpful. If I needed to, I could use him to ride to start the chain off, if I had to. But that's not the goal here. The goal is to use him to find the pieces of Seeger that I need, which would be Centurion or God Eclipse, which would be, bam, the next one. So SD is pretty much my creature searcher. And once you discard him, he counts as 2 Seegers in the drop zone. I know someone told me he only counted as 1. It didn't matter if he counted as 1 or 2. His name is Martial Arts Dragon Emperor Dual Seeger on the field and in the drop zone. It says it on the card. Someone said otherwise, and I just laughed at his face. So next, it's I'll show you what else I have more than one of. Next, I've got 3 copies of Philosopher. Now, there's a lot of cards that rest your unit before you go into combat. So Philosopher is great to just get your creatures back up there, so you can continue attacking. And God Eclipse is the one that you want to go to. It's a 15/15. Most creatures can't hit it without linking attack it. Now I know Gear God can hit it on his own like a jerk, and maybe a couple, like other handful can hit it, but most creatures will end up having to link attack to hit it. And because Centurion goes into soul and gives it soul guard, everything's good. Now for the one-ofs. 1 copy of Turbulence, 1 copy of the Demon Lord, 1 copy of Tempest Enforcer, 1 copy of Spartan, 1 copy of Imperial, and 1 copy of Arc. So if I have to, like on a bad ride, I'll go into Tempest Enforcer, because when Tempest Enforcer dies, I can go into God Eclipse. Easy peasy. What I have found, and it costs a little bit of life, but what I have found is I can go into Arc. Let's say if my hand is, I'm not saying my hand is bad, but let's say I'm going against a multi-attacking deck in which I know that my God Eclipse will just die because I don't have the right hand to defend it. I'll go into Arc. They'll link attack it because, again, most creatures have the link attack to hit an 8/8. I'll take the lifelink 2, Superior Call off of Arc and go into Centurion. Centurion to draw me the card, use his ability, call God Eclipse, lose 3 life. So I lost 5 life in one turn. But now I'm sitting on a 15-15, and it totally messes up my opponent's turn because now they have to figure out how to get over a 15-15. So, again, there are ways to like save yourself in case you mess up. I know I've gone into Imperial once to grab Gauge. Arc, when he attacks, puts 2 in the drop zone and gives me a Gauge. So putting cards in the drop zone is great. Demon Lord, I will never go into because it's just not needed. Turbulence will never go into because he'll kill me off of Centurion. Spartan, I will just pass turn and I will not do it for SD. So that's pretty much it. Let's go into the support for the deck. Now, there was another build I saw online, and his was okay, but it didn't. There are a lot of aggressive players out there, and with Chaos, Swords, and Thunder Empire running about, getting all those multi attacks, it's just not safe out there for to just leave your dude out there and go full throttle and not try to defend yourself. So I run 2 Unmatched in All Seas, Birth of a Chief. This card is great. It tells when it's cast for your impact, you take a card from your drop zone and put it into the soul of a creature. So with Centurion inside the soul of God Eclipse, it has Soul Guard, so now I get 2 more cards for Soul Guard. And this makes sure that my abilities are not nullified. I just found out that one of the swords for Azidahaka nullifies abilities. So with this guy out, I don't have to worry about cards being nullified. So I only run it at 2 because reasons. I run 2 Dragon Dreams. This is probably the part people won't understand. I almost got OTK'd by golems from Danger World. Yeah, I almost got OTK'd. My dude left me at 2, and that was a problem because I couldn't summon Centurion without and go summon God Eclipse without losing 3 life. So I think this card is still relevant for all the life loss that you're doing, especially with all the cards that I have, which uses life instead of Gauge. So I think that at 2 is okay. Some defense, Wrath Triggers. Wrath Triggers are super important. Stop you from being destroyed, and if I have an excessive amount of soul, it gives my dude counterattack for the whole turn, which allows me to pretty much eat a hit. Next, I run 4 copies of Deluge of Life. Now, I wasn't playing this during the tournament, and as soon as I got home and I thought about the other guy that I was talking with earlier, I understand why he was running it. Originally, I was running Dragon's Temper. But Dragon's Temper is actually the card that lost me my round. I drew... I had 2 in opening hand. I drew for my my first turn. I drew 1, charged 1, and drew the second one. So I saw all 4, and I ended up losing that game. And again, game 2 did the same thing. I was so mad. I almost ripped the card up, but I couldn't. So, but now I know why the guy ran Deluge of Life. Because you are using Summer Recollection 2017, Summer Muscle Thanksgiving, or Sturdy Dragon Strike. One of the 2. Because cards are going into the drop zone, this gives you a free draw, and on top of that, if one of your creatures dies, you nullify the lifelink. So now I understand why he was running it. You can God Eclipse and Tempest Enforcer can die freely without you having to worry about your life. So I understand. I really do. Next, this is the bread and butter for the deck. This is how you're going to acquire all your pieces in your hand and in your drop zone. I run 3 Brawling Dragons just to get those size 3s out of my hands. 4 Divine Dragon Creations, 4 Dragon Emperor Legends to get the life back and to get the gauge and the draw, and 2 Sky Dragon Divinities. I went down to 2 Sky Dragon Divinities because of the Summer Recollection 2017. I'm dropping so many cards into my drop zone that I won't be able to that my drop zone will just end up being 10 faster than it needs to be. So I left it at 2. And guys, this is just the build. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave in the comment section below. And you guys have a great day or night.